coming to you from the defines of America.
It's the Bob and Bob Show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bob and Bob Show. And with me, as always, we have the bearded one.
Present.
And we also have the Chopperoni, whatever the hell you want to call this guy.
You're welcome.
Jabroni.
You're welcome.
Right. Anyway, so what's up, everybody? This is another Saturday morning. We were supposed to get started a lot earlier today, but it didn't happen because these two clowns are sitting in front of me decided to go and hang out at a gas
Why
station.
are you so late? We didn't get stuck in the mud today.
Yeah, well, you got stuck at frickin' the gas station.
Dude, do you know
harassing.
how long it takes Chops to find a door?
No, I don't.
Quite a while.
Well, how long?
Oh, 15, 20 minutes usually, somewhere in there.
Oh, well, we
He's
got
so
a lot,
not lying.
got a lot of stuff on the docket today. We got Mr. Governor Mike DeWine pushing for a red flag law.
I love laws
And
and
this
governors.
red flag law is going to allow courts to confiscate guns from people that they deem mentally retarded or insane or whatever they're going to say.
They do that already, don't
Yeah,
they?
right. Okay.
Pretty much.
then
They're
we-
making it easier to do it, and they're going to normalize it, because it already kind of is, but they're going to make it worse and worse.
All right, so we'll circle back around to that, but
There's a lot to say about it.
There's a lot of stuff. We got Woodstock canceled, 50-year reunion or something. They canceled it because of its investors.
Oh, they couldn't get anybody to give a crap. That sounds about right.
Then we got some stuff about this guy talking about we better start thinking about getting subterranean with our living because of the superheating of the planet and global warming and all this other crap.
Yeah,
So-
it's not
that
quite.
at?
That's not quite how global
That's not in
climate
Ohio.
change works.
yeah. And then we also have a guy chops off his junk. I think I put that on
What is
Facebook.
junk?
His wiener and his balls and all
What
that
is
kind
that?
Ooh.
of stuff.
Pork
So,
and beans.
yeah, he cuts that off. Then we got...
I got a plate of pork and beans.
This one really pissed me off. A Tampa judge orders chemo for a young cancer patient. He was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
His parents were like, no, we don't want to do this. He had bad reactions when we did it the first time. So, we want to try some more holistic methods.
Sure.
The judge says, no way.
The judge is going to mandate on unsettled science. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
What, they deem the parents unfit? How'd they do
I
that?
don't know. We'll get into that. Then we got China vows to retaliate
China.
after the U.S. does their
China.
tariff hikes or whatever. And Trump did this.
Surprise.
They had their shipping boats or whatever on their way over here, and then it went into effect at 12:01 a.m. So I don't know if they had to turn them around, but Border and Customs said no way or something.
What was the first thing Ron Paul said when Trump was talking about putting tariffs on steel from China?
Yeah, he said it taxes the consumer.
Well,
first
yeah,
off.
well, he said a lot of times these trade wars turn into actual military wars.
Right.
We're watching this morph right now.
Yep. So then we're going to try to get into some other stuff. A couple that was filming themselves driving a driverless Tesla car having sex.
Yes.
So, yeah, right on.
Everybody, you got to
right
make a
up Chop's
living
alley there.
somehow.
Right. Oh, perfect.
Chops, you found your niche, man. Now you
Yeah.
just got to find a guy to do it with you.
Right.
Oh, I already got one sitting next to me.
Oh, no.
Everything's got a price,
And
right?
we got some stupid Kim Jong-un North Korea crap. And
more boogeyman stuff?
yeah, and then French kissing causing gonorrhea in the throat. So what are we going to start with here? Let's talk about Mike
Why don't you
DeWine.
just start at the beginning?
I'm going to start
Let's
with
talk about bearded Bob
No.
having that cough.
What?
And the gonorrhea in the throat with
We'll get
bearded
to
Bob's
that.
cough.
He has a cough.
He's got a cough.
All right, Mike DeWine pushing for a red flag law, allowing courts to confiscate guns. Now, I'm not even going to paraphrase this, but what they're, I'm going to summarize it, okay? And what it is they're going to, if somebody reports somebody and saying that they're mentally,
It's a witch hunt.
yeah, saying they're like, they have a mental issues, they're really depressed, or whatever their excuse is going to be, they're going to report them, they're going to bring them into court, they're going to say, hey, we're going to take your guns.
If your neighbor's acting funny, report him to the authorities. We will drag him into the court and have him hung as a witch. I get it.
Yeah. Well, we're big time Second Amendment people, but I do believe that the mentally ill should not have weapons, And Kasich tried to actually do it too. He tried to put this red flag law in there or whatever they're calling it.
Well, the danger in it to liberty and to all of us is when there's arbitrary definition, and essentially you're giving public officials like judges and prosecutors the power of their opinion to be used to direct somebody's life, ruin somebody's life, take their possessions, throw them in jail, fine them, whatever it may be, throw them in the loony bin. So so if something truly is for the good of the public, for public safety, and for, all the things that they tell us government is for, it has to be very, very specific in language, and it has to be a due process that is truly in the interest of objective justice and not a witch hunt or, a liberty grab.
Well, you can see within the criminal justice system alone, man, like we've already talked about how the freaking prosecutors aren't liable for anything.
It's massively
They'll
flawed.
indict a ham sandwich and take it to trial and convict it and put it in prison for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So-
they choose what does or doesn't go to court.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. They hustle the person who is the so-called criminal, alleged criminal. They hustle them, make them plead to a plea bargain.
Sure.
So, I mean, what is the definition of a freaking mentally disabled, depressed?
That's the
whatever?
question at hand.
But
At
that's a
what
human
point-
emotion. Hold on, that's a human emotion. People get depressed. People get angry. People. I mean, so you get
Yeah.
mad and yell at your wife, and the neighbor hears you yelling at your wife, or vice versa, your
Yeah.
wife yelling at you. All of a sudden, you're going to court and you can't have guns anymore.
That's the danger in it.
Come on.
And the other, there's life is more dynamic than that too. Somebody can have a mental breakdown and be completely unstable, and 2 years later be completely stable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
happen in life,
As
man.
soon as they accept big pharma in their hearts, they'll be nice and level and stable.
well, and, maybe big pharma is why they're not.
Yeah, I don't know. DeWine, I don't like the guy. He's an ass.
Red flag laws are very, very. They threw up a red flag for me. Let's just call it
Yeah,
that.
well, if you're an American citizen, you live in Ohio, and you pay attention to things. You pay attention to things. Watch Mike DeWine, because he's an idiot, and he can't barely talk when he's getting interviewed. So he's making draconian laws right underneath your back.
Isn't that what they do?
Yeah, that's what they do. But nobody cares because nobody will do
You
anything.
know how we do.
Takes
So-
a lot of effort to stand
Yeah,
up.
again,
Well,
Mike,
things have
against
to. It's that old saying: once suffering is more severe than the pain of change, and change happens. Well, you can trip all over that too, because after a while the water's boiling, and you didn't even realize it was getting hotter and hotter, and now you're totally screwed. That's what happens. That's what governments do.
yeah, well, you let them run amok.
Right.
You don't pay attention to what's going on. You're paying attention to your stupid Twilight Saga or whatever the
Whatever
hell
it
you're
may be,
watching.
yeah.
Game of Thrones,
Harry Potter.
Harry Plopper.
People say as long as it doesn't affect me, well, it. That's
Yeah, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then I don't have anything to worry
It's just
about.
a little bit of cancer. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'll wait till it's about to kill me and then maybe do something about it.
Right.
That's pretty much what you're
That's
saying.
back to the tumor growth we were talking about on the last show.
It's not a tumor.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, get a birth certificate and all that. But the reality is, if people don't pay attention, if people don't say something, you have to say something first off. I don't
Yeah.
care if it's a stupid post on Facebook, but everybody's in fear of what the government's going to do, what the CIA is going to do, what your friends are going to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just say whatever the hell you think.
Herd mentality is full of fear, man.
Well, like back to the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ community, you can't say anything about gays, you can't say anything about lesbians. And I'll tell you what, my personal experience and what I feel is they have the liberty and freedom to do that. I don't hate them for that. I don't agree with what they do. It's not my forte, but at the same time, they're allowed to do it.
I'm a lesbian.
So, I mean, so say something. And if you say something now, all of a sudden you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe.
Well,
I'm not scared of
policing
gays.
people's opinions is very childish, and that's the world we live in.
Yeah, well, you have this opinion, so you got a phobia.
Yeah.
You're scared of it.
No,
you know?
I mean, going after somebody and dragging them behind your Jeep and, until they're dead or whatever, that's different than just saying, I don't like homos. There's a big difference. And they don't seem to differentiate at this point with all the online virtue signaling and stuff, whatever they whatever you want to call it.
The gun phobia. Everybody's scared of guns. And
Well, they're being taught to be scared of
I know.
guns.
And then they have the school shootings, and they have, all these other events that happen where there's mass shootings and stuff. And immediately they go after the guns. And really they need to be going after some of the propaganda that's on the news, some of the crap that's in the music, some of the crap that's in the video games. Maybe they should teach kids, instead of throwing toilet paper at a shooter, an active shooter. I was talking to my son.
That's the perpetuation of it, though, man.
Yeah, dude, I said
they are teaching. They're normalizing the shooting, first of all. They're encouraging future shooters, showing them how to do it, showing them what other kids and themselves are being trained to do while it's happening. So they're going to know how to get around all of that.
Duck the toilet paper.
Dude, that's
When are you
like...
going to get a roll of toilet paper in the middle of the school day?
Dude, that's like sending a Navy SEAL to a Taliban training camp. You know what I mean? Like, what's the enemy going to do? Let's just go train with them,
the
right?
shooter's here. Run to the bathroom and get the toilet paper.
Right. and they're fear-mongering by having these drills in the first place because it's so unlikely to happen. It's unnecessary. It's nothing but fear-mongering and baiting. That's all it is.
So with they're trying to we've talked about they can't find a solution, so they just make a law.
I can find a solution,
what do you think?
but they're not going to go with it because
do?
it's not what's been pounded in their head through propaganda.
What do you think we should do?
It makes too much sense.
What do you think we should do about mentally ill people that have weapons that could be a threat to somebody else? I mean, how do we do something about that?
Well, here's the thing. There's always going to be crazy people, and there's always going to be guns. So let's start with people that are already nuts. I don't know if they have a history of threatening violence or having impulsive behaviors where they do a lot of damage just on an impulse that they can't control. If they have a verifiable history of that kind of behavior, yes, they're a threat. Okay.
Well, how do you catch them first, though? Before they
can't. If somebody's never done something,
you're innocent until proven guilty.
No,
anyway.
no, not in this country.
What you can do is do what we used to do and teach kids about weapons because weapons exist.
Right.
There is no respect for firearms and what they are, what they're for, and what they can do, how to handle them, how not to handle them. There's none of that happens anymore, man. It used to be just every day on the farm,
Yeah, and you're scared. Everybody's in fear all the time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that too. We're being taught to be scared
Oh.
of everything from germs on your hands to, it's unhealthy. The fear is unhealthy. The level of fear is palpable at this point in society, and I don't even want to be part of it, dude. I really don't. It's so anxious.
The world's gone crazy.
It's a horrible place, man. People that have never been anywhere but in it don't even know how miserable they are. It's crazy, man. It's so insane.
Well, I hate Mike DeWine. I really do. I know they say you're not allowed to hate anybody and you're not allowed to have an opinion. Well, I do not like Mike DeWine.
Well, you're an angry little dude.
I am an
anyway.
angry
It's what you
Irishman.
are.
I'm an angry Irishman. I mean, seriously, when I see somebody going after my freedoms and other people's freedoms, I get angry.
Yeah.
I think that's a natural human response, isn't it?
It's yours for sure.
So
No, it is. It is.
screw Mike DeWine and kiss my freaking ass. So
Whoa.
Yeah, Mike DeWine can,
suck.
I think
Right.
Mike DeWine should sit on Chops' lap once a week at least.
I know, in his gold Rolls Royce.
Yep.
So all right, let's
Thank
move on.
you.
Let's move on. Let's get out of this. I don't want to talk about this.
Well, we got
clown
other
anymore.
subjects
Yeah.
here. I know
The-
I'm saucy. I don't know about you, man.
Oh, geez, he's saucy. All right, so Woodstock, they canceled it, the 50th anniversary or whatever the hell was going on. What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I don't.
You don't? Hey,
I'm
listen.
pissed, man. I lost my
There's so many
tickets.
dumb music festivals. It's all commercialized garbage anyway.
Yeah, but the way I was looking at it is, the original Woodstock was kind of like the hippie movement,
Well, that was-
unifying type of
Right.
It was
concert.
something completely different, though.
Right.
You
now-
don't think we could do that nowadays?
No,
huh?
No.
way. Not with
corporations
the
get
cops. The cops would
involved.
swarm SWAT down,
Right.
and they'd be
Not even-
arresting people when they're leaving. I'm telling you, it's all bad.
No, everything is so commercialized at this point. It would be nothing. It would be nothing but a money spending fest
Yeah, probably
for
charging to get in
Coca-Cola,
Woodstock this
Budweiser. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really
Here-
expensive entrance fees.
Here's
like,
here's some of the artists that were supposed to join: Santana, David Crosby, Jay-Z.
oh, I know why they canceled it.
Chance the
'Cause
Rapper.
Bedtime is at 9 p.m. for everybody that listens to that stuff.
Miley Cyrus.
At Woodstock, Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus with Santana. You can go with your grandparents, guys.
Oh my God, it would be awful.
I
These
don't
are
even
the-
That's-
think Miley Cyrus's parents were old enough to know about Woodstock.
yeah, let's
Dude.
put Jay-Z, the Illuminati puppet, up there. Have him throw his little
Woodstock
diamond sign up there.
schmudge.
There you go. Booty, booty, booty.
Dude, if I want to go 2 days without eating and piss on somebody else's sleeping bag. I don't need to go to Woodstock for that.
Yeah, that was one of the things they're talking about. They couldn't get the
I don't need to
porta potties.
Yeah.
They couldn't. The investors were backing out. And
I don't
stuff
need
like
to
that.
spend $600 for that experience. I can do it for free over in the trailer park.
So what you're saying is we just cannot have a giant musical event that unifies the population.
Never.
I suppose
Not in-
you could,
not in this
but
day
it's
and
not
age.
going to be that.
There's Country Fest.
Yeah, but that's not a unifying thing.
Bonnaroo.
How many?
Oh, it's all just commercialized concert
How many
stuff.
blacks
It's
are going to
not-
go to Country Fest? You know what I mean? 0.001%.
I don't know. It depends on if they got lost. Thought they was on their way to a Jay-Z concert.
Right.
Just have Jay-Z do
I
a
thought
country
Jay-Z was
song,
going to be here
man.
at Country Fest.
There's got to be a way to unify.
Culture is bad. Muddle everything.
Yeah, but music used to be a way to unify everybody.
It still is.
Do you remember back in the early 90s, mid 90s or whatever? Like music was like crossbreeding with itself, and you could have every walk of life involved in it, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's is that a good thing though?
Why not? Every race should
mean,
be able to do any music they
well,
want.
it's
Why
like
would you
a-
prefer segregation?
In some sense, yeah, man. Because you know what, I sometimes I want my rap to be rap, and I want my country to be country. I don't need them mixed. I just don't.
Oh, you don't like country rap?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, man, come on, man.
It just.
Get with the times.
I
I
didn't-
mean, I don't even
Beard
need to
and
get
Wonder.
specific about it, but
I didn't like it at first, but I started getting, out of 30 of their songs,
Grows on you like mold.
two I liked.
well, I'm not even just talking about that. What I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with a purity in something for what it is. Why can't a certain music genre just be? It's okay to have fusions and stuff too. What I'm saying is, there's a scale. You don't have to muddle everything. Purity is important too. You know,
You
it's
mean
like when
there's-
you travel across the United States. I used to do long haul trucking, right? So I'm traveling across the United States, and I can tell you for a fact, in Austin, Texas, Denver, Colorado, I'm just naming random cities, by the way, Seattle, Washington, Akron, Ohio, the Main Street plan with KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Applebee's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, all of that stuff, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of that stuff is exactly the same everywhere you go in the United States, because it's been so corporatized that they literally take the same street plan and plop it down in every damn suburb, all 50,000 of them in the United States, and there is no culture anymore. 100 years ago, if you went traveling across the country, you would encounter different accents. And yeah, people have
Yeah,
different
you ever been to
accents now.
Kentucky on your way down
Yeah.
to Georgia?
It's
Oh,
not
man.
like it was, though. I mean, it
Georgia
used to really be a
Peach.
unique thing. The cuisine was unique. Everything. The way they dressed, there was real culture, man. Now everything is just American cheese,
Right.
So should we be doing that to music too?
Processed food cheese.
Yeah, I mean, if we just leave it to record execs, that's exactly what it's going to be.
It's American neutral loaf.
It's got a few different requirements. What does a song have to have? It has to appeal to the lowest common denominator, so everybody will buy it, not just smart people. It has to have an element of every genre in it, so everybody can buy it, not just country fans or rap fans or rock fans. You know what I mean? They're going to water it down and dumb it down so that it's just so milquetoast that you actually want to be a eunuch.
Yeah, and then they take it and they use spaced repetition and repeat the same
I
word
mean-
over and over and over for a chorus instead of putting any thought into it.
Right.
So what you're saying is the creativity level is just dipped.
Right.
And
There is no more.
And now it's like mix everything together so everybody likes it for promotional
for-
reasons.
Yeah, and now you just have a bunch of mindless bots
Culture sticking
opening
behind
their
music.
wallets.
I can understand what you're talking about.
and just in a blindlessly consumptive society devoid of any real culture or creativity. So, anyway, Woodstock got canceled, guys.
Right. Jeez, Bob, you negative
Poor
Nancy.
Bob.
I
Take a
got to
breath.
divert
Take a
myself.
breath.
I got to divert myself somehow from Chops molesting me.
I know, he
over
calls
here.
me angry, and then he's all negative. So, geez, what's happening?
But I'm laughing.
Negative laugh. All right, so let's move on. Let's get out of that. Let's move
He
on.
is kind of crabby since
He's
he quit
freaking-
smoking.
Hey,
ain't
I
he?
make sense, bro.
Let me tell you this crazy one about the subterranean survival warning. They're saying that the solution to overpopulation, climate change, food shortages is to go underground and make more land for cropping, for farming.
Oh, farming underground.
farming.
No. It's we move underground so that the surface can be left to food production.
That's really silly.
That would make sense.
Has this guy ever heard of artificial scarcity before?
Listen, they're discovering a whole bunch of places a whole bunch of civilizations that were underground.
That's a different
Just
subject,
recently.
but yeah.
that's a different subject. But this is retarded.
Same subject. People
No,
living
no,
underground.
You're getting into like the extraterrestrial type stuff. We're just talking
Yes.
about like
ET.
survivalist fear mongering.
Yeah, we're talking about
Let's talk
somebody
about
who's saying
aliens.
that, hey, we got to go underground because we need to grow more food and get rid of your house and your property.
Yeah, this,
you know,
this is our generation's fallout shelter bait, dude. It's not the Cold War now. It's crop scarcity, right?
Yeah,
which
it's-
is completely manufactured. Do you know how much the crop they dump into the ocean every year just to keep the price stable?
It's stupid. Like they're saying that we're coming to a point in our history in which we need to start looking for more space to live because of the overpopulation.
Dude.
Hey, dummy. Whoever the hell, I'm not going to say who wrote this stupid article, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If you look around the United States, especially,
There
the
are
farmlands,
oceans and oceans of land
there's
out
so
there.
much land, but most of it is corn and soy.
Yeah.
And that shit is
And
poison.
Most of that is dent corn. Soy is poison, straight up poison. You're talking about GMOs, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, no, I'm talking about breaking it down in GMO and the high fructose corn syrup and soy
yeah,
products.
most of that is dent corn. Dent corn is cattle and pig feed and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of that corn that you see, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of it, it's dent corn. It's actually for livestock feed.
Well, not around here. It isn't. This is all.
You're growing sweet
all
corn here
sweet
for
corn?
sugar?
No, it's not just sweet corn. They can do whatever's going on in these fields around this area here. It's the same thing. You really think that much cattle eats that much corn?
Oh, they do. That's
They're
what I'm
not
saying.
supposed to eat corn.
But they do.
I know.
You have to
Yeah.
switch crops every year,
That's-
though. You have
yeah,
to,
well, you gotta get the
one
nitrogen.
crop 1 year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about crop rotation. But check this out. The cattle feed is so bad for the cows. It's not what they eat naturally.
Right. They eat
that
grass.
their meat is not healthy for us. Grass-fed, grass-raised, natural cattle, it doesn't have any of the bull crap. It has a different fat structure, and it actually has omega-3 fats in it, the kind that's good for your heart. Red meat,
Right.
naturally raised, is good for you.
Yes.
The stuff we buy at the grocery
All
store
original
is not
everything's
that
good
stuff.
for you.
Yeah.
It's fed bad food, and it is bad food.
Yeah, and they have to
But
hit it because their immune systems, because of all the bad food, they have to
They
give
have
them
to supplement 'em,
antibiotics
yeah.
and all this other crap they stuff in them.
Vitamins.
It's ridiculous. So
Dude, I've seen these stockyards, and the industrial farming complex, the industrial meat complex are probably two of the. We got to feed.
no, we're not eating dolphins.
Humans got to eat, but we're doing it in a way that is highly, highly destructive in every sense, even to our ecosystem.
Well, I don't want to hear about this overpopulation problem because they're growing all this crap that we do not need.
Right.
And they're using it instead of real sugar, they're turning it into high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
Instead of
Because it's 100 times sweeter than real sugar.
and it's easier to grow
And it's easy to get people hooked on
Yeah,
it.
this is your capitalism that you love
Yeah.
so much, Bob.
Well,
This-
what it is-
this
no.
mindless consumption.
You know what? You can call it capitalism and call it whatever you want. What it is greed at the top. It doesn't matter what the structure is. What you're talking about is capitalism that's left unhinged, that's writing law and lets them basically pervert the entire world because it's a profit-driven motivation by the people that have the power to set up our paradigms.
Yeah, so it strips
And
the
it's-
land of the resources.
It's profit-driven instead of prosperity-driven.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, we're not paying attention to the carrying capacity of the earth.
That would be prosperity-driven.
Yeah, but we're
That's not what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're
we are
doing the
literally
opposite.
stripping everything,
Oh,
dumping
I
stuff
know.
in the oceans
I know.
and littering the planet.
It's not because there's too many people, though.
I know. Well, I see stuff on Facebook like the Green Movement and Save the Earth and all this
Sure.
other crap, and they're like, "Oh, well, what did you do for the Earth today? I didn't throw my plastic waste on the ground. I
yeah,
threw it in
that
the
stuff's
dumpster.
ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I didn't buy this because it wasn't in a paper carton.
What
or
people do
whatever
as
the hell it is.
individuals does matter, but industry
I didn't
And-
buy those condoms because they weren't recycled.
industry and high power legislation is where the change needs to take place. And for that to take place, their entire motive needs to change. And that's not even something any of us can affect.
Yeah, you could take half the population. They could stop using straws, for instance. That's not going to change anything at all.
No,
You could stop buying plastic bottles. That's not going to change anything. I mean, maybe on a tiny, tiny level that the Earth doesn't even feel it. You know what I mean?
You know what will change it?
Yeah.
If Coca-Cola went back to refillable glass bottles like they did in the 70s, up until they figured out that these new making disposable plastic packaging and stuff like that actually saved them money. That's why they started doing it. And then they put the burden of the waste on the consumer. So they offer you disposable crap and they tell you to recycle it. Recycling's a big dumb scam too, because so much energy goes into recycling that it doesn't really save us anything. We're using bad products.
Well, that's why these green movement and all these tree huggers, they need to actually go to the root of the problem, like we always talk about, and it's the corporatocracy, man.
Yeah.
It is literally like government and corporations merged together.
Right. Doing what's best for their money.
Doing what's best for profiteering reasons.
Yeah, right.
And it's destroying the planet. That is the problem. Obviously, we know using hemp and other different methods from biodegradable stuff, that's
a great move.
That is where the science should be.
Right.
And if you want to make laws to make me wear my stupid frickin' seatbelt, you need to make a law against the damn corporations from producing these highly toxic, it takes 100,000 years to biodegrade or whatever it is.
Yeah, you know what? They use this with wanton abandon, and they basically shame the public by saying, oh, it's your responsibility to recycle this waste. But that's the option you're giving me.
Right.
The option you're giving me is to dump trash in my lap and tell me to deal with it.
Right. The government will regulate everything under the sun that we have to do personally, but they're not going to go after the corporations that are giant lobbyists for whoever. You know what I mean?
Refillable glass, problem solved.
Problem solved.
Or completely biodegradable, vegetable-based plastics.
Ooh, what a concept.
But
let's walk down the beach and pick up trash. I get it. You want to save the world and you want to save the planet, and I get it. I do too. But how are we going to...
There's an ocean of trash in the ocean.
I know, but we have to stop the trash being manufactured in the first place.
That's exactly it, right? Straight up.
Like, stop sitting there and making your damn posts about... save this and save that, and what did you do? What did you do? Well, if you're going to do something, you need to be on the White House front lawn, or you need to be at least on a local level at, some of these meetings that your states and your local officials are having.
Responsible politicians.
And tell them that
would be
you're
nice.
tired of these corporations that are doing this. But why? You can't do that. You know why? Because it's going to cut jobs. Oh, no, now.
Oh, they'll find a way to screw you.
Oh, yeah. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to stop this corporation in whatever state you're in right now, and we're going to stop them from manufacturing
They're complaining about plastic over here in Des Moines. Let's move this over to Duluth where they don't care.
Right. It's got to be something on a level where, as everything, all the problems
People
have to be unifying. It has to be unified people.
Well, this touches on something, too. The people have to be ready to suffer a little bit, man.
Oh, yeah, you'll suffer big time.
Because it's going to be a fight. When you go out there and you call out a fight like that, you got to be ready to get punched in the face, because you're going to get punched in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, be ready. Be ready.
I mean, I'm being figurative, but you hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand. You're going to get knocked down.
You're going to go out there and call somebody out. They're gonna come out and challenge you. So be ready for that bottling plant to leave your town.
Yeah, and then you'll no jobs, and then you're going to have scarcity, and you're going to, not scarcity, but you're going to
get your war chest in order before you go out there.
Right, definitely. Because then you're going to have people running around with no jobs, and they're going to be breaking in houses like the Mexicans.
Well, just have your contingency. You know what I mean? Get your blade sharpened up on your lawnmower. Make sure your trailer has air in it, and get your flyers in the mailboxes before you lose your job.
That's the problem, in the capitalist society. This is where profit and greed, it just has to continue on. This mindless cyclical consumption.
It really is a capitalist thing, but it's not a capitalist thing exclusively. It's in every system. All of them. Well, it's in a power mongering
system. It is,
system.
just like Bernie Sanders' freaking democratic socialism.
It's all the same, dude. It's all. If anytime there is a commodity, a resource, anything to be greedy about, it's going to be that.
Yeah. Well, what was that resource-based economy, the Jacques Fresco?
There's still value in that, though.
There's tons of value in that.
So it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't get rid of money. As much as he might try, money will be gone for about 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there's going to be barter and trading, and
somebody's going to develop a currency because it's more convenient.
Like
and
Bitcoin.
We're right back to square one, dude.
Yeah. You got to keep. Everybody's got to chisel off each other to survive, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
chisel through a monetary situation. I mean, everybody has to do something and help each other.
You're talking about trade, and trade ain't going nowhere. What it comes down to is responsible trade and not letting one entity become so powerful that it becomes malevolent.
Yeah. Well, we're at the halfway point there, Bob, so we're going to pick up on the other side.
Okay.
Okay. Got a bunch of funny things on the other side.
Like this song.
This just in, the president has finished an emergency session at the White House where he announced that the security focus of his administration will be moving away from the global war on terror, instead focusing all available resources against something the administration has deemed a larger threat to U.S. and international security than anything recognized before: nature itself.
That's right, Dutch. The newly declared war against nature will be usurping funds from the Department of Homeland Security, effectively replacing it with a new department. The Department of, I think I'm reading this right, Fuck the Earth and the Science it rode in on.
That's correct, Summer. The administration has already appointed a head to this new department, the CEO of Monsanto Corporation, Satan himself. When questioned regarding concerns about a possible conflict of interest of the new appointee, the Obama administration responded, "Monsanto's reputation of challenging the vast power of this intolerant, bullying force that goes by the terrorist name Natural Science holds great potential for our victory. We feel if anyone can take down these insurgent laws which restrict our God-given freedom, it is the professional experience of our true Lord and Master, the Prince of Darkness."
We've just been informed that a press conference is now underway with the Pentagon spokesperson answering questions. We now go live to the White House.
As the president said earlier, the greatest barrier to U.S. interests has been a constant state of offensive interference by this rogue network. Nature has been forcing its will against our freedom for long enough. Our economy, our values, the American way of life, it's not negotiable. Either nature concedes to our interests and stops terrorizing us with its hatred of our liberty, or we will be forced to destroy it. Next question.
Hi, Joe from LA Times. Don't you feel it could be a bad idea to move against a force which has historically never been overcome or even phased by human action? Also, I understand nature has given a set of demands which, if met, would cease many of its counterattacks. Has the administration considered just meeting these demands?
Listen, Joe, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And yeah, I've seen nature's demands, full of queer communist propaganda such as balance and sustainability. It even demands that we shut down our infinite growth consumption economy to make way for something where we are to be slaves to some oppressive natural regeneration respect. Listen, I didn't spend 35 years defending this country to have some metaphysical terrorist group with science on its side ruin what has made this nation great. No further questions.
All right, we're back. Bob and Bob Show, bobandbobshow.com, and nature is a terrorist.
I'm so glad that break is over, man.
Bad nature. Bad nature.
Communist nature.
Dude, Chops, we need to get Chops a puppy or something.
Why is that?
Because he can't keep his hands off me, man.
Oh, my God.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, I know. You're
You
trying
were
to...
sitting right across the table from me and nothing happened.
Yeah, wink, wink. Yeah, I get it.
Dude.
No pico. Wink, wink.
No.
Did you know that I like Mexi melt with no pico? Wink, wink, no pico.
All right, so... You know, that guy right there just talking about what we bled right into what that was all about, pretty much, you know. And nature does what it's going to do, and you either roll with it or it rolls against you. That's what happens. If you have
every time,
if you have this cyclical consumption, this mindless freaking buying and throwing away, and this corporate freaking propaganda that's just pushing advertising on you every 5 minutes, you're on TV, you're watching TV or listening to radio, you're just going to keep buying crap. And you're part of the problem. The corporation's part of the problem. I mean,
there's so many people, and most of them probably none of them listen to this show, but there are so many people out there that are, I don't know what to call it other than the Matrix. I wish there was something better than some corny movie name to call it, but there are so many people that are so wrapped up in just this plastic commercialized existence that they're in that they've never even thought to look outside of it.
I know you don't need a lot of this stuff too. This mindless consumption. You don't need
material
a lot of this
and immaterial.
Right. I mean, we're all victims of it because sometimes you got to use some of these products to try to better your life. You know, that's where the birth
people
of invention
allow
comes from.
themselves to be convinced that they need so much of this crap too. And I don't know. It's hard to explain this because it's on so many different levels from so many different facets. But we're so deep in consumerism that we're almost like a different species than we were 100 years ago. It's crazy, man.
I know. Well, go hug a tree, save the planet. Don't go after the corporatocracy. Don't go after some of the corporations that are involved. Don't do that.
It's not for progress, this change I'm talking about. It's not for progress, and it's not for us, and it's not for the betterment of anything. It's for sales. That's all it is. That's all that has driven any of this. It's sales. Money. It's for the people that are putting these products out there to sell them to you. That's all it is. It's all the way from toilet paper to sound effects to vaccines, which, by the way, have killed more people than measles this year.
Have they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any statistics yet.
I just looked at it when we were on the break there. There's so much stuff in there I want to write down and make info on, but,
Well, back in this Tampa judge that ordered chemo for a young cancer patient, 3 years old.
That's an example of it right there.
How in the hell does a judge order you to take a freaking poison that, it does eradicate?
Oh, it's for his safety.
It's for his safety. But we know that CBD and a lot of cannabis products are actually killing cancer cells. We also know that there's been plenty of cures, and one doctor, I forget his name off the top of my head right now, but they killed him. He went
but
missing,
I'm the judge,
and
I know what's good for your kid, and we're going to blast him with chemo until he dies instead.
Right. I mean, I literally know people who have died, and I've
chemo
seen them
is
wither
so
away
dangerous.
off of chemo, dude. It's crazy. It's a bad drug, man.
Dude, you know what chemo is? The chemo is when they basically destroy all of your tissue, hoping that it kills enough of the cancer to make the cancer die before it kills you.
Yeah, that's
what
it
chemo is.
I know.
It's hardly a solution.
Like, why?
But it makes a lot of money for Merck.
Oh, it does. It does.
And it keeps the population down, too, since everything is carcinogenic in this plastic
keeps
world.
Keeps the taxes going up and keeps the freaking people sick and kills them off, and there's your depopulation right
I'm
there.
going to go into the woods and eat mud for the rest of my life instead of do this crap.
And clay's good for you, I heard. You can eat clay. But, this judge apparently ordered them to do it. They didn't do it. And they tracked these parents down and took the kid.
Of course they did.
And put it in the custody of, I don't know if it was the grandparents or an aunt or uncle.
I don't know if you heard, but America's a free country, dude.
I know. So if you don't do what the judge says against your child, because, first off,
they'll destroy your family.
First off, what happened was the doctor says, this is what needs to happen. And they say, well, we want to try a different method. And the doctor says,
I'm a court-appointed doctor. I get paid to make you do stuff.
So I'm obligated, and it's my duty to report you for not treating your son or daughter with this deathly freaking poison that we're going to put in them.
Yeah.
Like, where does it come? Where's the law? The line get drawn when you have parents' rights and you get to make the decision, or it's the courts? Like, why are the courts even involved in this?
You know what? It's getting worse and worse. It used to not be quite so bad, but the closer we get to this medical debacle that we're in now is bad enough, and it's obviously big crony deals, or the insurance scams wouldn't be exactly what they are. But the further we move into socialized medicine, the more judges like that are going to have a say over your life, over your body. The more health care is socialized and given to the state, the less you own your very existence.
I know. Dude, judges...
It's very dangerous.
Judges are like... They have incarcerated more people per capita in the United States than any other country in the world.
But if anyone thinks
freedom?
If anyone thinks that, let's say we go on to this big government healthcare thing just to save everybody, right? Because that's what it's going to do. And all of a sudden, let's say they mandate vaccines, and you decide you don't want to take the vaccines. The penalty is that they just throw you in prison until you decide you're going to do it. You know what you are? You're a slave.
Yeah.
You are a prisoner. You're a prisoner before they arrest you. You're a prisoner just because you're here. That's the world you want to live in, apparently.
Oh, I don't want to hear it, Bob. And stick my fingers in my ears. It's
you
too
get
much.
what you deserve.
It's too much, man. Just give me my Game of Thrones and
just
give me
inject them already.
Give me my Bud Light, and I don't want to listen to you anymore. Oh, jeez. I don't even want that. that stuff really pisses me off, and it pulls up the anger monster inside of me. You know what I mean?
Dude. I
And
get really mad about stuff like that.
I everybody's like, "Oh, you're always so angry." I like being angry.
Dude, angry is your baseline.
You do.
Depression is my baseline. Anger is yours.
Yeah, I like anger because I get so pissed off when
We're
I scream.
so healthy.
I scream and yell about it, and sometimes I find I prove myself wrong because I'm so damn mad, and then, then I get even more mad at myself.
Yeah.
And then I always calm down. I'm like, all right, but I yelled and screamed a little bit. It's over. All right, Chops, for the chop. Here's one for you.
For the choppy chop.
IT worker chops off his own penis and testicles using an ultra sharp ceramic knife and ice cold water in a bid to become a Nolo. You know what a Nolo is?
A eunuch?
A non-binary. Enjoy sex with your boyfriend, but you're not a boy or a girl or crap. I don't even know. This is crazy.
Okay, enjoy yourself.
What? Yeah.
But here, this is
Why
a perfect
take your
example.
junk off yourself.
This is a perfect example of the internet, YouTube videos. The whole.
Is there a YouTube video on
I
how
don't
to do
know.
it?
It's a whole new meaning of groupthink right
This
there.
guy
dude.
saw a video, or this girl, or this person, or this. I don't know how we're supposed to Nolo, Cholo.
Shim. Let's talk about Shim.
Call it a bra.
Well, China. I mean, this communist, crazy, psychopathic, frickin' country actually is classifying transgenders as mentally disordered people. So, I mean, how does communist China do that? But the United States is embracing it. You know what I mean?
Well, we're supposed to be opposites, right?
This dude cut his junk off, dude, on his own.
Yeah.
He took ice and numbed it, and then took a ceramic frickin', highly sharp
Yeah, I
knife and
heard
cut
it,
his
yeah.
junk off. Like, what kind of?
Have you-
oh my
dude,
God!
sick to
Could
my
you imagine
stomach.
that? Go cut your junk off, Chops.
Have you ever
no.
seen Pain Olympics?
The what?
Pain Olympics?
No.
Oh boy.
What's that
it's
all
dark
about?
web stuff, dude.
Oh no.
Dude, Pain Olympics. So you see people on there doing that kind of stuff for real on video, like just to film it, just to upload it.
What?
They'll cut their sack open and let their balls hang out and like smash them with hammers and stuff.
Oh,
Dude, it's crazy. Like they're mutilating themselves. Like they're gonna be maimed for life doing this just for a video.
What
like,
is wrong with human beings?
Dude, it's insane. It's disgusting. Like you really don't give a crap what happens to anybody in that video because they're just vile anyway. It's crazy.
God, man.
It's fun to watch though.
I bet.
Yeah, watch this guy cut his balls off.
Oh, my God. It's
geez.
crazy.
Dude, get
I
out
would
of here,
throw
man.
up. I would throw up.
We thought them 9 Inch Nails videos were edgy when we were kids, right?
Yeah, cut your balls open. That's edgy. Oh, jeez.
Nail it to it.
Here's another one for Chops here. These couple driving a driverless Tesla car, filming a sex tape.
Oh yes, that's wonderful.
And
You can order Uber in LA.
Uber in LA.
Yeah.
Dude, could you
Uber
imagine
LA.
doing like 80 miles an hour down the freeway having sex
That'd
and
be
frickin'
awesome.
in a driverless car?
That would be awesome.
Dude, I
Dude,
don't-
those cars are not that advanced
No,
yet.
they're not. I do not trust that, first off.
Oh,
What the
dude.
hell's going through your head to do that in the first place?
It's what's going through
It's
her head.
Roadhead, dude.
It's roadhead on a driverless car that is not very safe.
No, this was full blown sex. You said.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, if
There's a
the
lot of dumbskis out there, though.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Prius is a rocking.
I think it's on Pornhub, Save the Bees. We were talking about they made a channel for Save the Bees on the other show. Yeah, you can go there and check out Pornhub. I think it's on there.
Oh, I don't want to watch it. I want to do it.
Oh, you want to do it?
Right,
You got to
yeah.
find somebody with a Tesla, man.
Yes, I do.
what
And
is
a
that?
daughter.
Isn't that like a freaking $180,000 car or something?
I think
Something
that-
ridiculous.
I just said a Tesla and a daughter.
Oh, no, that's gross. Don't be saying that, dude.
man.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I'm not the one doing it.
You're mental.
Jeez.
I'm just giving him ideas. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Chops, you're going to pull it off?
He's going to pull his wiener off.
He's like, it's driverless.
If I don't pull it off, I'm cutting it off.
He's gonna get on a race car track and just tie the steering wheel at a certain degree.
Yeah.
And just start going around in circles.
filming it.
I got to keep my foot on the gas, girl.
Girl, grab the GoPro. It's falling.
Strap this to your ass.
Strap a GoPro to your butt.
Yeah.
There's another one for you, Chops. I think you have this. It's
Is that GoPro waterproof?
this is gonorrhea of the throat from French kissing.
He's been hanging around high schools again.
Yeah, he's been hanging around high schools.
Bob. What do you mean? Bob's the one with the cough. We
He has a
talked
cough?
about that at the beginning of the show.
Does you?
Dude, who French kisses?
I don't know. I mean, I do a little bit.
Bob
Do you?
Polish
Yeah.
kisses.
What, you kiss him like that?
No, I would never kiss him
Bearded
like that.
Bob Polish kisses.
You were like, I do a little bit.
Dude, I have a fiance. That's,
Yeah,
that's all right.
I don't get down. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't do it very often, but, we're getting older now. And it's more
Yeah, I
like-
mean, when I was like 15, it was exciting. Now it's like, French kiss. Bleh.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They're saying you can get gonorrhea
Straight
from
to the
it.
French tickler.
I mean, what happens when you get gonorrhea in the throat, though? I mean,
You go to the doctor.
I mean, they got to give you an antibiotic. Or,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's curable, man. Some of the things you can take a pill for.
well, it's mainly among gay people and bisexual men. They're saying here.
And high
so,
school kids.
It's developed in the rectum, throat, and eyes. I mean, what is happening? Like, okay,
It's a poop in my eye,
It's
bro.
a new Momo video.
Hey, bro, fart on my eye hole.
as much as I don't want to go against the LGB
Gonorrhea.
community or whatever, lesbian, gay, and all that stuff, but listen to what's happening because of it. The
you really-
diseases that are happening.
This ain't new, man.
I know it's not new, but what I'm saying is there's just like there's a consistency between AIDS and now gonorrhea
Oh, you
and
know
all this
what,
other
man?
stuff,
That
and it's
started-
always
The sexual revolution in the 60s, dude. That's when everybody started having orgies and stuff. And then everybody was all like, oh, have sex with everyone. I was going to use the F word, but this is a family show.
Yeah, I think I
Wow.
said that. This is not a family show.
You mean fart?
It's listed as explicit, dude. So I mean,
Okay.
what are we gonna do? One of these days, we're gonna do a whole show with no cuss words, and we're not gonna say anything derogatory. Maybe.
We'll say,
Derogatory.
what the?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, a lot of the STD stuff and all that. It used to be just for sailors and soldiers, and then it was for college kids since like the 60s when everybody just
Liberate sex workers.
yeah, all that,
Well, when it
And
comes,
there's good things that come from that, but there's also bad things that come from that. But you can expect that when there's a movement of half the population, you're going to get spectrums of perspectives within that group that take it to this direction and that direction. So with social experiments that are massive like that and big social movements, there is always going to be a lot of garbage fallout from its butthole somewhere, dude. For all the people that are just degenerates that go along with that trend and don't know how to manage it, or don't, they just, yeah.
well,
it's hard
just
to explain all
because
this.
a boy is kind of feminine, and then maybe it carries on into manhood, still a man. And yeah, you're a little feminine, and you walk with a little, lisp or whatever you do.
You walk with a lisp?
Walk with a lisp. Walk with like a gay walk. Or
Walk like
whatever.
Zach Galifianakis.
It doesn't mean you're gay, though. You know what I mean?
No.
I know.
It's called effeminate.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't mean that you have to classify
It's
yourself
all
as
just
gay.
social stuff, though.
And
That
join the
doesn't-
community of gay people. Come on, like, think about it.
Even being gay, though, just the classic gay thing is not cutting your dick off.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's two completely different
yeah,
things.
they are. If the
The
lesbian
guy that cut his dick off is no more like a gay dude than he is like a straight dude. He's his own thing, man.
Yeah, this whole concept, the
an
lesbians,
idiot.
the gays, and the bisexuals, they should be on, they're one side of it, and they're not cutting off their genitalia. They're not going through sex changes. And most of them are pretty happy people, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Let them be. Liberty, freedom, do it. But if you start chopping off your wiener and you start getting boobs
Dude,
put on,
if you're-
there's a problem.
If you're going to remove a body part, unless this is something you've been struggling with like your whole life, where you're one of that like 0.001% of the population that really is gender dysmorphic, and you're willing to spend the $50,000 and a complete lifestyle change to become the other sex, that's something different. This is some dude just chopping his wiener off, man, because he's crazy.
You should see the pictures.
Unacceptable.
You should see the pictures of them,
No,
too.
thank you.
No, they don't show the pictures of the actual cutoff situation. But they show him at, like,
You
gay,
can see that at Pain Olympics.
gay pride rallies and stuff, and he has, like, a leather freaking belt thing around his chest. and all
He's
that
just
stuff.
doing the next big thing for the attention that he wants.
Does he wear his
Cut his
pee
wiener
around
off.
his neck like a necklace?
I don't
Like
know.
a charm?
He has it on the end of a
Like
stick.
Jussie Smollett over there wearing the noose around his neck when the cops show up at his house.
Yeah. Someone cut my pee off. I don't know who did it. Oh, it was me. I videotaped it.
Well, I don't want to badger the gay community, but I am going to badger the transsexual cut your stuff off people, because they are mentally ill.
Yeah, stop that.
They are mentally ill, and China classifies them as that, and I don't know why the United States isn't.
China. I think most people in the United States would absolutely classify that as mentally ill. I think there's a small fringe group of like the blue-haired, horn-rimmed glasses wearing, 100 pounds overweight, angry female college student that wouldn't consider that completely insane and weird. But, and there's probably a couple of pandering idiot politicians in Washington that would go along with it.
Well, they're
as long
just
as they
doing
get
it
the
so
votes.
they want their votes.
But this is all politicized, right? This is what I was talking about before. It's all like politicized garbage. So most of that sentiment is completely fake. And what they're doing is propping up completely insane behavior and sentiments from a very, very, very small fringe group of people that have a larger group of people supporting them because victim status, yay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me my oppression points. I'm with him, her, it,
Yeah, that tribalism.
Yeah, and then there's the politicians that pander to that so they can basically climb on their backs for their own prominence. It's a disgusting model.
How do we stop this madness?
How
dude?
negative is
How
that?
do we stop this so much madness?
I just don't want to be a part of
I'm
it.
41.
So
I'm 41 years old, and I remember back, in the late 80s and early 90s, man, this was not a topic of discussion.
No,
These
not really.
Most definitely not.
I don't remember talking about this. I don't remember caring about this. Now our children, they're talking about it, and they're hearing about it, and they're in the school, and they can't even make fun of somebody like that. They can't even
they're
bully
completely
them.
censored. They're pretty much forced into some weird propagandized degenerate thinking.
But
And
what's
if
going to
they
happen?
question it, they are under a gun, dude.
Think 20, 30 years from now, what in the hell is this country or this planet going to be like?
Well, it's either going to be more of an idiocracy than it already is, or it's going to shift the other direction. Hopefully not too far in the other direction.
That. I bet it's going to turn in like that movie.
It's already like that movie, dude.
What movie?
Idiocracy.
No, it is that movie.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's getting
We're
close.
there, bro.
It's getting
We
close.
ain't getting close. We're there.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's so goofy.
Oh,
You should watch it, dude.
Yeah, this guy goes ahead in time, and then the whole world.
It just shows how low we've degenerated. Like some Hulk Hogan type dude is the president.
Yeah,
and he's really dumb.
The guy who makes
and,
his chest bounce.
Yeah, the dumber he is, the more people cheer for him. We are there, dude.
Yeah.
You just have to watch it.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
And there's this one normal dude from the 90s, and he's in 2030, and he's just watching this whole debacle, and he's like, oh my God, this is insane. Everybody's so brainless and stupid, and just utterly commercialized.
I wonder what the timeline is on it. Hopefully we'll be dead before that
people
happens.
have to get people have to get a main line of Mountain Dew or they won't live for 12 hours or something. It's crazy, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's
Mountain
crazy.
Dew.
Yeah,
this was made. This is an old movie. This movie's
There's
20
trash
years old.
everywhere.
This was
They
before
can't grow
Monster.
plants.
Well, all right, moving ahead with more craziness with these tariffs that Trump does on China. They had some deal. I don't know if you guys heard, a while back there was a trade deal, so to speak, with China, and we were bringing in a couple $1 billion annually or something like that from China because of the tariffs, extra money in our pocket.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not our pocket. It's
to the government.
Right. And then Trump pulls some bull crap, and it's $20 billion. Wow, it's not a couple.
$20 billion.
Or 200.
Right,
It's $200 billion.
$200 billion
man.
right into the federal coffers, dude.
Yeah, we don't even need
And
it.
we pay for that.
Squash it.
We pay for that.
Hey, don't we owe China money anyway?
Yeah,
Isn't
they
that
probably
why we
own
do
half
it?
this
Dude,
country.
China owns half of the United States.
So I guess.
So what's Trump talking about?
He hit this new tariff. I think it was like a 10%. I don't
He's
know.
charging
Don't
his landlord.
Don't quote me on this. I think there was like a 10% tariff at first, and then some boats were coming over from China to drop off some of their goods, and before they got here at 12:01, it boosted up to 25%. So now China's all pissed off, and they're saying they're going to retaliate. How? I don't know how they're going to retaliate. I mean, we talked about this before. These tariffs and trade wars can actually turn into physical wars.
Dude, so much of what is in this country says made in China right on it.
It's crazy.
And
China,
Trump is going to start a war.
go buy some honey. Go buy some honey because there's barely any pure honey anymore. It's all
Some of it's mislabeled, too. They
it's
just
being
straight
made
lie
in
to you.
China. No, there's a documentary on this. China was shipping in all this honey that's been diluted with all kinds of other chemicals and crap.
It's crazy what they do to food, man.
The United States found out about it. It was going through customs. Because they test honey. They test everything, I guess.
I've seen it. I've been in customs and watched them do it.
Yeah, so they're testing this honey, and they're finding that there's barely any purity of it, and they slap big tariffs on China.
Yeah.
So what does China do? Moves it to another country, relabels it, brings it in through another port of
These
entry.
are massive, massive entities, and you can hit them. You can hit them in the mouth with stuff like that, And what they do is just move. Like you said, they just do a sidestep. Like, okay, we're moving to Delaware then. Here, you know what I mean, or whatever. Where can I get a tax shelter? Oh, my company's based in Puerto Rico.
I mean, a lot of the Chinese population, they're in poverty or they're like right above it, barely surviving.
They're slowly coming up. They're like where we were a few years after the Industrial Revolution.
Right, and that's crazy.
That's where they are economically.
So they're producing freaking so many goods for the United States, and
they're supporting us.
And here's the thing: the people are not sharing in these riches over there.
They are on some level.
They are only getting enough to where they do not riot and they do not go ape crap.
That's
all
how
over the
it
streets.
was here 100 years ago.
It's the same here now, that we only get enough so that we don't go freaking crazy.
It's not quite as bad as they are.
No, it's not.
That same dynamic does always exist, like you're saying, though. There's always a push-pull between management and workers, dude. Always.
There's a push-pull between government and management and corporations and workers.
Of course, yeah.
So, our unions are practically dead around here. So, I mean,
some of them are.
They're not doing a great job. I'll tell you that. I mean, how can they? They want.
I think it depends which union.
They want more money, but now we have this influx of illegal immigrants that'll work for pennies on the dollar. So this is flooding our country. I mean, they're literally letting thousands of illegal immigrants into our country on a daily basis almost, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
They're not illegal.
And
though.
they're like, don't build the wall. We talked about the wall. We talked about all these problems.
If they're letting them in, they're not illegal.
And now they're putting a war down there in Venezuela. Something's going to pop off.
Oh, we're definitely putting a war in Venezuela.
I mean,
it's
people
happening.
from South America are running because it is freaking crazy down there.
It's
the United States
right.
And our allies down there, taking people out of power that are actually trying to do something for their country.
I see so much on Facebook too about people like, it's their problem, let them deal with it. It's like, dude, what rock do you live under? It's their problem. We created their problems.
Yeah,
their problem is what it is because we made it that way.
And how can they go against the United States with this global army we have? How can you go against it? Nobody can. Maybe China or Russia, maybe.
Yeah. China can.
But as long as you're playing ball and there's money going in certain people's pockets, then war doesn't happen and regime changes doesn't happen. But as soon as they don't go with the New World Order,
there's
or
so
the
much
IMF
silly
bank
posturing
or
and
whoever,
dancing around too, and it's just headline bait. It's just to keep people stupid, like all this talk, like this North Korea crap. This is just Trump acting the same way Kim Jong does. He's going to keep Kim Jong as the bad guy, so people look at him like, yeah, North Korea, they're bad, and they don't even look at what's going on here. It's just smoke and mirrors, dude.
Speaking of Kim Jong-dong, or whatever the hell his name, Kim Jong-un.
I love it.
Kim Jong-un is calling for a full combat posture because the following talks with tariffs and all that crap with Trump failed. It failed a little while ago.
This has been going back and forth for
Rocket
years.
Man's doing it again. He's been doing it for since our parents were our age.
I would just laugh at him at this point.
His dad was doing it. So apparently he tested some missiles, and then the U.S. Tested some ICBMs too the same day. It's just stupid posturing, warmonger.
We've been testing them since 1945, man.
Yeah, well, it's stupid.
Nothing
it's
new.
stupid, and I'm tired of war. I don't know. War is a big racket, and it's profiteering.
It's war economy, dude.
And they train. You see the commercials on TV, like join the whatever the hell, the best force in the world.
It's a war economy, man.
Join the global military force for good. We're fighting for freedom across the planet. No, you are not.
That line, like at this point, like who actually believes that at this point?
People are still joining the army. There's no draft.
Right, yeah, but why are they joining?
Definitely.
I don't mean why do people still join the army. I mean why do people still think that somebody is fighting for freedom?
Yeah,
where does that even? Where is there any validity in that at this point?
I don't know.
How could somebody just believe that?
War is a racket, people. I think I think we're coming to the end of the show here, buddy.
I mean, you'd have to just be so willfully ignorant to just fall in line with that.
Okay, nice talking to you.
Oh, the show's over.
It's not over yet. We got like 30 seconds or something. But
well,
you guys make sure to go to bobandbobshow.com. That's where we are always posting our show, and we always have cool stuff going on. And we also have complaintboxes.com, the Bob and Bob Show social media. So go there, create a profile, punch Chops in the face.
Oh!
Chops wants to touch you.